Okay, today we're going to look at the vintage Lobo III. We have a couple of models. This is the 27 megahertz in white. It's a 49 megahertz in black. And we have the budget edition Pocket Lobo in red, also a Lobo III. These are all vintage from probably late 1988, likely 1989. And we'll take a look at a few of them. Okay, here we have some pieces from one of the original boxes. You can see it advertises both Lobos, and there's the original sticker price from Sears, $49.99, way back in 1989. And this would be the front of the box. And this advertises kind of what's in the car itself, as far as the power and so forth. And here we have the Sears quick charger. And this was unveiled in 1988 with the Lobo II. I got mine with my Lobo III. And there is a vintage battery pack, which still works, but doesn't hold much of a charge. We won't be using that today. This is a Lobo III controller. As you can see, it's a pistol grip controller, pretty standard on today's radio-controlled cars. And this is a vintage controller from the Pocket Lobo, which is like the two-stick kind, which I actually prefer. And our power for the Lobo III, here we have a modern Onyx battery pack and 9-volt. Now we're looking at the 27 megahertz in white Lobo III. It's operating in low gear. And the motors on these cars, I think they're kind of tired. I remember these really working well in the grass, but even with modern batteries, which I'm using in this car, it's not running real good in the grass. So I kept it mostly on the pavement here for the video. I think it's just worn out, and maybe like a tune-up, or if I replace the motor or something, maybe it would work a little better in the grass. But you know, these cars are around 30 years old, so I should just be thankful they still run. And now we have our 49 megahertz in black, and this one's operating in high gear. And you can see with high gear on these cars, they start off slow, but they gradually get really fast. High gear is running a lot better than low gear on my white one. But again, you know, even today, these are not as fast as I remember them. And honestly, I really think it's just because the car is pushing 30 years old and it's just worn out. Again, maybe if I tune it up, replace some parts, it might really buzz. But, you know, it's still running pretty good for its age, and it's in immaculate shape, so I'm pretty happy with it, regardless. And lastly, here is the Pocket Lobo. Not real impressive. Wasn't even in the 1980s, but it was really cool because it was super tiny, but not very powerful. Only good for kitchens. And there's what I drive today. I don't know, if I painted it, I think it would look like a Lobo III. What do you think? They look similar to me. Perfect. Good job.
I didn't know you were going to.
Awesome.